Om Yogis, welcome to this practice today with Sita, the Hindu goddess of love over adversity. Let's start in a seated position. There are many stories of Sita, the Hindu goddess. Every story that I've heard, anyway, depicts her devotion, her dedication to duty, and her courage in the face of adversity. So today we're going to bring beautiful Sita into our practice. And we start this by feeling your breath today as a mantra. A mantra that is in constant remembrance of God. So utilize your breath like a mantra as a remembrance of the divine or of devotion to love. Breathe like Sita. Breathe in and feel the love in the breath. And breathe out and give it to God. So beautiful. And then from here we'll come into Dandasana or staff pose. Stretching your legs out in front of you, pushing into your heels, engaging your legs fully. Toes move towards the face. Back is straight, chest is open. Chin is slightly in. Breathe like Sita. As a mantra, as an offering to God or a remembrance of God. Because Sita is an upstanding, straightforward Hindu goddess. So we can think of our breath as a mantra, but we can also think of our posture as a yantra. A yantra is like a physical representation or drawing of a sacred shape. And this shape is made or drawn to show a devotion. So the shape you make today with your body can be a yantra, it can be an offering of love to the divine. And as you sit like Sita, you might want to think of areas in your life where you have been upstanding. And if you find them, don't hold on to them, just give them over to God as a devotion. Beautiful. Let's relax that pose when you're ready. Bring your feet to the floor. Your hands are behind you and just let your legs fall one way and then the other. Beautiful. Then we're going to bend the knees and sit to the left hip. So your knees will come over to the left. And then we're going to twist the body to the left, bringing both palms, if possible, to the floor behind you. This is a variation of a pose called Buna Manasana, or greeting the earth pose. So breathe down now into the earth. Sita is very connected with our Mother Earth. Her very name means furrow. Sorry, I can't speak today. Furrow. And she's described as a daughter of the earth. So she's said in many stories to have emerged from the furrow of a freshly ploughed field. And like Sita, we are all of the earth too. So as we take this moment to connect to the Great Mother, we can also connect to Sita as a sister goddess. She went through some very human trials and tribulations. Even though she move through those tribulations in a royal, godly way, queenly way. Sita was always noble. She was born noble, out of the soil, beautiful and gentle, and she was quickly recognized as royalty and adopted by a king. Super beautiful. Let's switch sides. Taking Buna Manasana, or greeting the earth pose on the other side. Your breath as a mantra. Breathe like Sita. The shape you make as a yantra, or a shape that is made as an offering or a remembrance of God. Breathe like Sita, sit like Sita. We're fully accessing our devotional qualities today, like Sita. Come out of that when you're ready and come into Sukhasana, easy pose. Sita eventually grew up and married a prince named Rama, and the pair were very much in love. So let's take an easy twist to the left. Remembering breath as mantra, a constant remembrance of God or love. Breathe like Sita. And then when you're ready, come out of that and twist the other way. Utilizing your breath as a remembrance of the divine or of devotion to love. Or you can devote to Sita and Rama, two figures that together are most symbolic of love and devotion. Let's come back to center when you're ready. Bring your fingertips to touch in front of you as if your heart is inflated and you're holding it here. And then when you're ready, take your palms wide and forward as you inhale, opening your heart. So it's like cactus arms, looking slightly upwards. And as you exhale, come back to that starting position with the fingertips touching, holding your heart. Slightly round and open your upper back here. And then inhale, open it back up again. Breathing in, opening the heart. Exhaling, holding the heart, slightly rounding the upper back. Continue with this on your own. Remembering your posture as a yantra. A yantra, a physical representation of a sacred shape. Your shape is made to show devotion. The shape you make today can be an offering of any love you recognize or feel to the divine. Because we know that any love we recognize or feel is in fact divine. Beautiful. Come back to center when you're ready. Switch the cross of your legs and just continue with that heart hugging, opening motion. Your breath is a mantra. Your body is a yantra. Sacred sound and sacred shape. Forming as a sign of devotion. And we do this to honor Sita. Beautiful. Come to center when you're ready. Release that. And now take a twist. One way. Any way that you like. mantra in the breath, yantra in the body. And we try to keep this in mind as we go through the practice today. In remembrance of Sita. Coming back to center when you're ready and twist the other way. Coming back to center when you're ready. Meet me in cat-cow. So Sita was married to Rama, and Rama's father, the king, had made a promise to Rama's stepmother. This promise was to grant her a wish or a boon. And the queen asked that Rama be exiled, so to make room for her own son to take the throne. It was not that the queen was bad, rather she had fear and lived in lack despite her great wealth. If fear and lack are a sort of insanity and make you do crazy things. So if you feel either fear or lack inside of you today, you can begin to start to pump the breath in your cat-cows, speeding up the movement to clear any personal feelings of fear or lack. Come back to center when you're ready and lower yourself into Sphinx pose. Breathe like Sita. The shape you make is a yantra today, an offering to the divine. Now Rama wished to honor his father's word, and so he agreed to leave his birthright and his kingdom and be exiled into the forests. And to everyone's surprise, Sita decides to join her husband, even though she's not bound to. No one expected her to, but she did it anyway, proving her devotion and love as a wife. Her love for him was greater for her than her position in society. And the comparison between Sita and the queen shows us who was truly wealthy. Sita went to the forests, had no material wealth, but her heart was full of love. Unlike the queen, who was full of the insanity of lack and fear. So even if you feel lack today, just for today, just for this practice, imagine your heart is as full as Sita's, as full as of love as Sita's heart. Fill yourself up with love and breathe like Sita. And when you're ready, stay in Sphinx, but lift your left leg and look over your right shoulder. Bending the knee, lift your left foot. Look over your right shoulder and then swap that over so the right foot comes up, bending the knee, and we look over the left shoulder. And just move one side to the other on your own, with your own breath in your own time. At this point in the story, Sita is in exile. No one expected her to go with Rama, but she went, and her love and devotion caught the attention of an evil 10-headed demon named Ravana. And he tricked and kidnapped her, hiding her from Rama on his island kingdom. Ravana kept her hostage on the island for a whole year and made many advances towards her during this time. But Sita refused him at every turn because her heart only beats for Rama. So you can see how strong she is. She keeps this 10-headed demon at bay. And at this point, you might want to ask yourself, what demons might you refuse in your life right now? What is it that you will not tolerate? And with a heart like Sita's, you are bound to be successful in keeping those demons at bay. Now let's come out of that when you're ready. Bend both knees, reach back, grab your ankles if you can. If not, just let your arms come behind you and lift up into bow posture. Beautiful Sita lifts herself always in the direction of her love and her heart. Her heart is like an arrow that always finds her Rama. And in bow pose, push into your navel and lift your heart higher. We can imagine the navel is like an arrow too, because this is how Ravana might finally be vanquished. An arrow to the navel, perhaps. And as you push that arrow of the navel down, the whole body lifts up. You can lift yourself up, body, heart, mind, the whole caboodle. And this is how we escape lower energies. Keep lifting up. And then when you're ready, release that and meet me in child's pose. So Rama is distraught. He's looking for Sita, and he sends Hanuman, the monkey god, on a quest to find her. Hanuman can leap across entire oceans in one jump, and when called to, he can even fly. And Hanuman loves Rama, and he is so happy to provide his help. Hanuman is a figure in the Hindu religion that depicts the outstanding qualities of selfless service to others, and this makes him a much-loved god. The splits pose, when the legs are apart in splits, is called Hanumanasana in the yogic traditions because it looks like the great leap Hanuman made across the ocean to Sita. So Hanuman is looking for Sita, and of course, he is doing this. He's so happy to do this because he loves Rama so much. Let's come forward onto all fours, and then just drop your heart down for Anahatasana, heart stretch. keeping your hips over your knees, using your mantra as breath, your breath as mantra, and feeling the yantra or the devotion in the shape that you make today. And so we practice with so much love. Give it all over. Give it all over to God. With a heart full of love, just like Sita. Coming out of that, when you're ready, meet me in downward facing dog. Beautiful. So eventually, Hanuman finds Sita and rushes to tell Rama of her whereabouts. And Rama goes to war with Ravana, the demon. And the war goes on for many, many months. And then it comes to an epic battle between Rama and Ravana. But each time Rama chops off one of Ravana's heads, a new one grows. Rama finally defeats Ravana by using a powerful arrow that struck him in his navel. So now let's hollow out the navel as if we're avoiding Rama's arrow. And push into all of your limbs, your arms and your legs in celebration, because Rama is the victor. And Rama and Sita are reunited to the great happiness and relief of everybody, especially Hanuman. And for a time there is joy. Let's walk the hands back. Roll gently up through your spine to stand. Interlace your hands behind you and now fold forward. Just hold and breathe here. Breathe like Sita. Because poor Sita's ordeal is not yet over. Rama asks Sita to endure a trial by fire to prove her fidelity to him while she was a hostage. So Sita bravely enters into the flames until Agni, the fire god, confirms her loyalty. Now, I think I would lose the plot a bit if my husband asked this of me. But Sita was balanced, and some would say an example of the perfect wife. She bowed to her husband's wishes without hesitation or resentment or thought for herself. And this was not because she was weak, but as a show of her strength. Release your arms when you're ready. Bend your knees and start to roll up through your spine. And let's come into tree. So just choose a side and come into tree pose. And if you're going to fall in your tree pose, fall upwards. This is what Sita would do. Stay straight and stand up. Root into the Mother Earth. Be soft, but be strong. And this is Sita's way. Turn any emotion into a devotion and not a commotion. And perhaps you might want to apply Sita's wisdom to some area of your life. Choose your battles and balance adversity with love. Speaking of balance, let's take that pose on the other side. Any emotion into a devotion and not a commotion, falling upwards, staying straight, choosing the battles, bringing love to adversity. Coming out of that, when you're ready, step the right leg back. We're going to come into side angle pose with the left knee bent and the left elbow to the knee. Breathe like Sita. And the shape you make, may it become a yantra, a devotion, an offering, a remembrance of God. Now that top arm can now bind into the thigh, and if possible you can revolve your chest open a little more. Fill your heart like Sita, fill your heart with love and energy. Breath is your mantra. Body is your yantra. Show your strength and give it over to God. Beautiful. Then when you're ready, unravel yourself, come out of that and switch sides. Side angle pose on the other side. Right elbow to knee, left arm reaches either straight up or up and over the ear, whatever works for your body today. Show your strength. Be strong like Sita, breathe like Sita, fill yourself up with love and energy. And if possible now, you can take the binding into the thigh, revolving and opening the chest a little more, heart full of love. Beautiful. Unravel yourself when you're ready and come out of that. And we're going to come into triangle now over the left leg. The shape you make is a yantra. The breath you breathe is a mantra. Both are offerings to the divine. The heart is full of love, like our beloved Sita. Exhaling here, and on your next inhale, come out of that. Switch sides, triangle on the other side. And then when you're ready, come out of that. Standing at the top of your mat, inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, fold gently in. Inhale to a halfway rise. Exhale, back to plank. Dropping to the floor, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Hold and breathe. Breathe like Sita. The shape you make, a yantra today, a devotion, an offering, a remembrance of the divine. Beautiful. And then from here, let's drop down to the knees, take hero pose. So after much hard work and many tests, Rama and Sita eventually return to their kingdom and become king and queen. And they love each other devotedly. And the trio of Rama, Sita and Hanuman embody the highest qualities of devotion and triumph of good over evil. And you may have heard chants and songs about Sita, Ram, Rama and Hanuman. And I always feel moved by the loving vibrations of these chants, as if you can feel the love they all had for each other. And super beautiful. So we're going to take camel now as a yantra. If this shape doesn't feel divine for you today, then you can stay kneeling and just interlace your hands behind you to open your chest. If you're coming into camel, just double fold your mat to support your knees, to provide some padding. Open up the front of your spine, lift your heart high before you send your arms back. And see if you can feel your heart with love, filled with love. Wherever you are, whatever yantra or shape you're making, fill your heart with love as Sita did. In this state, any lack turns to abundance and any disappointment turns into devotion. So we follow the example of Sita today. And then when you're ready, come out of your camel or release the interlace of your arms, and we meet in child's pose. And we take rest. But poor Sita barely has time to rest because she is about to be tested yet again. Because the people in the kingdom began to gossip about Sita, their queen, and her time on the island with Ravana. Poor Sita doesn't rest for long, so let's come into downward facing dog. You know, and Rama has little choice but to prove he is not a weak king. And he decides he has to send her into exile for a second time. And he's devastated by this, but he has to put his feelings to one side because Rama has to devote himself to his kingdom as well as his wife. So even though his actions might seem harsh, they are coming from devotion too. Let's bring the left foot forwards for pigeon here. And take whatever rest you can. We rest for Sita as much as we can. But you know, some people say that Rama was troubled by the gossip of the people, but he just couldn't bring himself to tell Sita. And Sita could tell that something was troubling him, so she sent spies out to find out what it was. And when she found out it was her, it was the gossip about her and the doubt about her, she opted to leave to ease Rama's troubles. So, you know, for a second time, the queen, Sita, the royal princess, Queen Sita, elected to go into exile away from the luxury and back into the harsh life of the forests. And she did that for Rama. And it's both beautiful and courageous, and also tragic and terribly sad for both of them. You know, that Sita felt she had to do this. But Sita was an upright kind of goddess. She was a straightforward person, and she did things properly, without hesitation. Lovely. When you're ready, let's come back downward facing dog. And now bringing the right foot forwards, we come into pigeon on the other side. The thing is, as a royal couple, they had to live by certain standards, and any uncertainty about Sita would affect the entire kingdom, which they were both devoted to. But being separated would have been awful for both of them. But Sita did it anyway. She was steadfast in terms of doing things properly and following her duty as a devoted wife and queen. And maybe at this point you can start to see the strength and the value of any sacrifices you might have made for your family or for your community. Sita left because she was strong, not because she was weak. And it is often that way when we make sacrifices. Beautiful. Let's come out of that and push back, downward facing dog. And then from downward facing dog, let's walk forward to sit. Bringing the right leg, extend the legs out in front of you. Sorry, lovelies. Right leg extends forward and the other is bent to a kneeling position. But don't sit on it. Instead, take it wide to a 90-degree angle if possible. If this is not possible for your knee, just come into Janushirasana, so just like a seated tree. But if you're in this 90-degree kneeling pose, you can see how it feels to twist towards your bent leg, holding the bent leg with the opposite arm. The shapes you make are a yantra, an offering to the divine. Let those shapes be full of mantra or breath as a remembrance of the divine. And you can add on to this shape by stretching your body over the extended leg and grabbing your toes with the opposite hand. Breathing like Sita, full of love, heart full of love. Beautiful. When you're ready, let's come out of that and just swap legs, taking your time. So we're either coming into just a seated tree position or that that 90-degree kneeling position. If it's possible for your body, if it's doable for your body, you can twist towards the bent leg, holding that leg with the opposite arm. Breathe like Sita. And if your body says yes today, you can side stretch over that extended leg, grabbing your toes with the opposite hand if possible. Heart full of love. Okay, let's come out of that when you're ready. And we're going to set ourselves up for a supported, reclined butterfly. So put a bolster over 2 blocks. Use blankets or pillows to get that bolster to the right height so you can lean back over it. Bringing your feet together, your knees wide, and support your legs with blankets or pillows today, so you can completely relax. And just begin to breathe into your belly, inflate your belly as you inhale. And let it relax as you exhale. What I find especially sad about Sita's second time of being exiled was that she was pregnant at the time with Rama's twin sons. And she ended up raising her sons alone without her beloved Rama. And it must have been so hard for the whole family to be so separated like this. However, Sita would not fall into despair, because she had a heart full of love. So breathe like Sita now into your heart and start to inflate your heart. And then come back to your normal breathing. breath as a mantra, body as a yantra. Sita is a remarkable mother, and she is often referred to as Ma Sita, Mother Sita, or Sita of Mother Earth, of the Mother Earth. Sita faced so much adversity in her life, but always remained devoted and true and loving. And she has so much courage and inner strength and virtue. An example of this is at one point in her story, she refuses possible escape with Hanuman because she will not skulk away from the demon Ravana like a coward. Instead, Sita chooses to remain imprisoned until her husband comes to her and vanquishes her captor in the proper way, because that was the right and honorable way to do such things. And Sita is an example of a woman of such integrity and principle. And she proves time after time that she's willing to stand by them, those principles and those values, you know. And it's so tragic that she was so doubted. For me, that's where I feel Sita in my heart. I feel so in awe of her, the way she carried herself through that. So Sita raised her sons in the forest, and they grew, and eventually Rama accepted the sons into his kingdoms, and Sita was happy. So you can follow Sita's happiness and let yourself relax a little more here. Let go. Gorgeous. Let's come out of that when you're ready. And meet me in child's pose. So at this point in the story, Rama is with his son, Sita is still exiled. But the Mother Earth, Mata Bhumi, started to split herself in two. So Sita could leave the difficulties she had faced to return to where she was from, to return into the earth. And in child's pose today, you can let yourself return like Sita into the earth. You know, I have cried so many times when I chant Sita Ram, and I never knew why. But now I see that their tale is both deeply touching, heroic, and profoundly tragic and sad. Yet throughout all of it, all those trials and tribulations, dear Sita is so heroic in her duties as a wife, a mother, and a queen. And she truly is a goddess in my eyes. So breathe like Sita, no matter what is happening. Fill yourself up with love. Rise above any adversities. No, there is nothing that love cannot overcome. And this is Sita's message. Okay, so let's come out of child's pose and find a comfortable seat, somewhere where you'll be comfortable for the next 10 minutes or so. We're going to chant the name of Sita, the name of Rama, the name of Hanuman. Rama Bulo. Bulo means speak, so speak the name of God. You'll pick this chant up really quickly. The words are just Rama Bulo, Bulo Bulo Ram, Sita Bulo 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 Ram, Hanuman Bulo 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 Ram. So you'll get it really, really quickly. And you have the option to participate in your head. You don't have to chant out loud. You can chant internally, or you can really go for it and really chant. But what would be nice today would be if we chant like Sita, so the chant is coming through the heart. So you're aware of your heart the whole time when you're chanting. We're not trying to sound particularly good. It doesn't matter how we sound. It's just putting the vibration, of the speaking the names of God into the heart. So let's go for it, lovelies. Okay. Rama bolo, Rama bolo, bolo bolo Ram. 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 Sita bolo, Sita bolo, bolo Sita Ram. Sita bolo, Sita bolo, bolo bolo Ram. Sita bolo, Sita bolo, bolo bolo Ram. Sita bolo, Sita bolo, bolo bolo Ram. Rama bolo, Rama bolo, bolo bolo Ram. Rama bolo, Rama bolo, bolo bolo Ram. Rama bolo, Rama And just feel your heart now so full of love. And take that loving heart down to the earth, Shavasana, making sure that you'll be warm enough for the next 10 minutes or so. Lovelies, when you're ready, begin to deepen your breath. That song was called Sita's Prayer. It's sort of all about her heart's desire, her heart full of love for Rama. Let's take whatever stretch the body needs. And hug your knees into your chest. Gently rock your hips a little side to side. Rest a while on one side. Bringing anything back, if anything was useful for you today from your practice. And bringing back your heart so full of love as you come to a comfortable seat, so full of Sita. Who teaches us through her example and her actions. Beautiful Sita teaches us to not hold on to experiences, either good or bad. Instead, give them over to God as a devotion. She teaches breath as a mantra and body as a yantra. And that when we give over to God, or when we choose love over adversity, no matter what we face, all of life can be a devotion rather than a commotion. And so with a heart full of love, I say Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Sita Ram. Thank you for your practice today, for participating, for being here. Namaste.